Hello and welcome to, it's March 2019, it's the Hopcast Half Pint. This year's running away, it seems to be. I can't believe we're kind of back end of March already, bizarre. James here, Adam's here as well.
Yep, hello.
Hello. We've got 3 beers. We've got a bit of beer news to get through. Let's start off with a beer, and you've picked out the first one that we're having.
Yep, I've got Neon Raptor Brewing Co. and it's called Star Play.
Star Play.
And it's a double dry hopped pale ale at 4%. So
all right, that's good.
Yeah, I thought it was starters light, but with some nice hops.
Yeah,
I've tried to keep. I've not tried to. I've kind of accidentally kept a loose link to the area on these beers.
Okay.
So they're actually a Nottingham-based brewery,
right?
But one of the people who started it is actually from Wather-upon-Dearne, where I'm from.
Oh, okay.
And where Sean lives.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's local enough. Yeah, that's not bad. So Neon Raptor.
Yeah,
they've been over the last 12 months. I've heard a fair bit about them.
Yeah, they started in 2015, home brewing, and then they entered a Brewdog homebrew competition and won that, and then thought, oh, okay, people quite like its beers. So I think they started doing some like Cuckoo Brewing, and then back end of last year, I think they started their own brewery. They've got a tap room in there as well. So nice branding. You can't really miss it. It's quite like the neon sign branding, Neon Raptor.
Yeah,
quite playful and.
Yeah, I have seen quite a bit of their stuff recently, and everything that I've tried of theirs, and I think I bought a couple of cans, I've really liked. They seem to do a really good job of doing their beers. So it's got quite a thick, quite a nice gloopy look to it for a 4%er.
Yeah,
it's got an incredible smell. Smells like grapefruit juice.
It's quite fruity in it. Let's see if there's got any.
Really fruity.
You're right. Full-bodied pale ale, low bitterness, hazy, juicy appearance, and beautiful aroma.
The aroma really is beautiful. Yeah.
So it uses.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it uses mosaic hops and New Zealand Wahiti hops.
Wahiti. It kind of smells like grapefruit juice. It kind of tastes a bit like grapefruit juice. I get a real amount of grapefruit hit from it.
Yeah, you know, you get them kind of really fruit, like innocent smoothie kind of fruit one, but you got loads and loads of fruit, and it's got that kind of body to it. Not quite as gloopy as that, but that really like thick tasting. Oh,
I love that. That's really nice.
4% though as well. That's a good. And the weather today.
Yeah, perfect.
T-shirt weather, considering the last few weeks. That's a kind of nice sit outside beer. That one, maybe drink in the garden.
I do like their branding. Really do like that. Good can. Yeah, have you had much of their other stuff? Because they've done a couple of. There was a New England style beer they did not long back, and I'm sure a couple.
I have had some. Good. I can't put my finger on particular ones, but again, I think you don't see that much of it. So I've kind of had them. I think I've had them at Shakespeare a few times.
Okay.
I don't know if they did any takeovers. I think they might have had a takeover at some point. But like I said, they're not that far away, and obviously they've got links to the area. Obviously they probably know people. And
yeah, that's good. Let's reflect a little bit then on Sheffield Beer Week. What did you get up to? Did you get to much?
Lost my memory after Indie Beer Feast temporarily.
See, this is complete role reversal for this, because anyone that is a regular listener to the Hopcast or any other podcast that I'm involved in, it will be quite used to me kind of saying that there's a point in anything that I do where I just lose my memory. And it doesn't even need to be, I don't need to be of like a ridiculous level of drunkenness. I just have this thing where my memory just stops. Yeah. Something inside my brain just goes, right, you don't need to know any of this, switches off. But you're always the one that be like, well, do you remember saying this?
Yeah.
And do you remember doing that? And you don't remember getting home.
I remember everything about being there. I could probably tell you the percentages of all the beers I tried. I remember going after it finished out at the early session, and I went down to what's it called, underneath the Picture House Social. Some weird reason decided to drink Aperol Spritz, 2 of those.
Okay. That's random.
Yeah. Cost nearly 30 quid for 4 of them. And then
wow,
I don't remember booking a taxi, getting in the house. But then once I'm in the house, I remember everything again from that point onwards. Same with my wife. it's just like this weird,
like a time vortex. Yeah. Is it something to do with fresh air? Like the air hits you and then that's it. You just lose everything.
It could be. Yeah. I'm blaming that nearly everything was pretty strong. I remember starting on a 7%, and then I had something like 6.5, and then I think I went up to 9 because I thought I'd try the Roche wine smoked. One that Laura's raves about.
Always going on.
So 3 beers in, I'd not really gone under 7%, and that was quick.
Yeah. What did you think to the Roche wine?
I liked it. It's not something I'd go back to, but I'm glad I tried it.
I didn't try it in the end because I had a real good look at the description and talked to them a little bit about it and thought, I don't think that's going to be me. I'm not going to waste a beer on that. Of course, what we're talking about here, by the way, is Indie Beer Feast. I can't remember if we said that at the beginning or not.
I mentioned it. I think I mentioned it, yeah.
But it was kind of it's not actually the launch event, is it, for Sheffield Beer Week officially? It's kind of almost like the pre-launch event or something.
It's on the weekend.
But it's like the Friday and Saturday before Indie Beer Feast, before Sheffield Beer Week launches on the Monday. And I thought what I really liked about it was that it felt like it was a little bit of a step up from last year. Yep. There were a couple of quite significant breweries there that weren't a year ago. But actually kind of like the feel of the event stayed exactly the same. It still felt like the same event. And it didn't, and I like this. I went to the Saturday evening session, which was sold out. And we had an entire, it wasn't just a row of the cinema that we had to ourselves. We had an entire like section at the back because there was absolutely loads of space. It didn't feel packed. I don't know whether or not there are actually, because it's an old building, whether there are restrictions on how many people you can have in there. But whatever it was, there was a real benefit to that because you didn't feel like you were crammed. I never had to queue for a drink at any of the bars. It was a real friendly, really nice atmosphere. And as I say, it felt like it stayed true to itself. And sometimes events when that were good in year one, they reach year two, and they start growing and they start getting bigger, and you feel like it's leaving you behind a little. And I love the fact, and credit to Jules, I love the fact that it kind of kept that same soul at kind of the centre of it. And I had a cracking time, and it was, I started that day in Newcastle where I'd been at a conference. So I was up at silly o'clock in the morning, got a train back to Sheffield, got off the train, had to drop off loads of stuff that I'd had at the conference, went and had breakfast, went and had a beer, got back on the train, went to Derby for the football, and then got back from Derby, literally like ran off the train so that we were first in the taxi queue to get up to Abbeydale Picture House, and we didn't get there till like an hour after it had opened. And I was like, right, I'm if I last a couple of hours here, then great. And if I last more than that, I won't remember anything at the end. And I even remember sitting there just enjoying sipping away on a beer when all the full lights came up, and it was kind of like right then, time to go home kind of moment. And I think it's because everything about that event, for me, and this seems a silly thing to say with the story you just told, seems to be about just kind of drinking quite slowly with your friends and enjoying beers. There's no feeling of you've got to be in a rush. You've got to, you've got to drink as much as you can as quickly as you can. It just feels really relaxed and laid back, and that's great. I
completely agree. Considering like the floor space of the venue is probably about 80% seating, and then people not actually really making much use of that, kind of standing around. Never felt like I were kind of having to like move out of the way or anybody, because essentially the main strip through it is like an aisle of a cinema. It's that wide, and the sides are almost like the side aisles. There's no bigger than 2 meters or 1.5 meters. Thought really good food again as well. So, and like I said, it's just nice to kind of chat to people. Like as soon as I walked in, bumped into the St. Mars of the Desert guys who were just inside the doorway, so got to chat with them for a bit. Obviously Abbeydale were there, so know people from them. Lost Industry. Just to name a few local ones. At Neep's End, they were all kind of tucked away in that kind of top bit as well. Apart from Abbeydale down at the bottom, but like you said, some big players like Cloudwater. I didn't have a Cloudwater beer.
Who weren't last time. I've got to be honest. I had a couple of beers from Cloudwater, both a bit average, and they were easily the priciest brewery there. They were expensive, but loads of options. A bit like you, I kind of and there were things at both ends of the range. I found myself drinking more of the stronger stuff. But again, you drink everything in thirds. It still feels like it's not daft. You're still being responsible. And I did try and mix up with a couple of beers at the other end of the scale, a couple of lighter beers, and having people like Neep's End there really helped with that, because kind of having a cask half that at 4-ish or something like that % was quite good. That was sometimes quite a good kind of leveler just to kind of keep you going. But great event. I also went to the launch of Out and About on the Monday at the Devonshire Cat, which was great. Really good group. We're probably going to do something with them in the next couple of months or so to kind of tell the story a little bit more about what that group's all about, because it's a bit difficult to kind of summarise into a couple of lines. So I'll kind of just say that for now and say that we'll be coming back to Out and About and covering what it's all about in a bit more depth in the next few weeks. What else did you get up to?
We both got a nice invite to the Thornbridge Rare bottle tasting at the Booze Hound on the Thursday evening, which was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Some stuff that they'd found literally like at the back of a cupboard that was like 7 or 8 years old, that they've only got like 4 bottles left.
Yeah, literally some of the beers, there was 3 of the last 6 beers they had left of it. So it was quite a few of the old Thornbridge Hall beers, the Imperial Raspberry Stout and the Heather. I can't remember. It's like a Heather one, but both about 10%.
Yeah, there was a honey one, wasn't there?
Was it honey? Yeah. And then a few of the sour barrel aged ones that you can get hold of, but again are quite rare in the grand scheme of things. And a couple of bottles of the Serpent, which is the one they did with Brooklyn, which is running to the end of its life, I suppose.
It is.
So yeah, it was really good. Well worth kind of the £15 that they put on that to drink all those beers. And
absolutely.
Nice round table. Thanks to James Buxton, who did it, kind of talked us through the beers.
Did a great job.
And to Rebs for inviting us over.
Yeah, it was good. Other thing that I went to, there were a couple of small things that I went to. What I do want to mention, and I mentioned this on the main Hopcast earlier as something I was looking forward to. I went to Bar Stewards on Saturday where they had the Southwest takeover, and I've got I don't. It's so obvious for me to say, but the day of stuff that they had on keg was just brilliant. Some really nice beers. Just credit as well for the fact that it was just priced really sensibly, and real credit to them for that. And just enjoyed some good beers kind of everywhere that I went through the week, really.
I did manage to briefly pop into Shakespeare on the Friday night, 'cause they had the North Brew versus Rest of the World. So they had all cask beers from North. Some of those were really strong, and I really struggled with some like strong cask beers, but they are Transmission, which we did on last Topcast, and Ursa Major, which is 8.3%, and that tasted amazing on cask. So I think they were, I think I mentioned it on the last one, they were packaging up some of their stronger beers and some of the beers that you wouldn't normally see in a cask format. So beautiful, really, really good. Really enjoyed it. So. Yeah, I think that's kind of roughly what I got through. I did kind of have a few. I think I popped into Bar Stewards once, twice, and there's some Locker Poly stuff on that week, didn't there? Which is again from that kind of region. But I missed the day of things. I think they were a little bit late, weren't they?
Yeah, they didn't get there until probably maybe the Thursday or the Friday. There was some Left-Handed Giant stuff on, quite a bit of Verdant stuff on as well. Loads of stuff in the fridge that was really, really good. And just a great week had by all, really. I think all in all pretty good. Impressed with the Neon Raptor, especially for a 4% beer.
Very nice.
I think it handled it really, really well. Anyone that's watching the video of this will just see me have a minor disaster with the next beer, which is I'll show. Unfortunately, the label's really, really nice, and I managed to spill right down the middle of it there. It's got a little kind of streaky sort of thing on it there. But this is Lost Industry, and this is their Strawberry Daiquiri Sour Ale, which I did have on keg at Indie Beer Feast, even though I've got a bottle of it and had a bottle of it in my fridge for a little while, which I've just been letting kind of do its thing for a couple of months or so.
Yeah, I also tried it. I didn't have one, but my wife did it. It's kind of right up her street, that sort of stuff, and I really, really enjoyed tasting it. They've had a bit of a rebrand, haven't they? Lost Industry.
They've had a complete rebrand, yeah, and they've gone. I mean, actually, a little bit sensible, I think, in their branding. So
new little
it's beautiful. Let me show that a little bit better on the camera if you're watching the video of this, because it's kind of like a little bit of a beach scene, which is kind of greyed out, and then it's just got the most amazing looking glass with just this like solid red liquid in it, which, I mean, obviously you think of Strawberry Daiquiri, you do think of it being quite striking. It's quite bold in its colour, isn't it, a Strawberry Daiquiri? It certainly carries the smell across pretty well. It does smell, you've got a real strawberry scent coming through.
That made me smile, that. It's got like I don't know. It's exactly what the Strawberry Daiquiri would have imagined to me.
It kind of
barely tastes alcoholic, or a beer.
It's almost a little bit cheeky in its taste, isn't it? It's quite good fun, that.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, we all know that Lost Industry. I don't know how far they travel out of Sheffield. So if there's people watching this that might never have heard of them, I mean, we're quite lucky because they were. We featured them on the first ever Hopcast that we did. It's the first time that we did any Hopcast work. Was me and you went up there on a Sunday last winter. When it was actually snowing, it was weird, and they are, for us in Sheffield, a real key player in the market because they are kind of the local kings of the sours, aren't they? Yep. I mean, I know Abbeydale are kind of catching up and doing some really, really good stuff recently, but before that, Lost Industry were smashing them out ages ago. Yeah,
they make some kind of really unusual sours as well. They don't just try they bend the rules a little bit.
Yeah, they do.
I'm doing like an Iron Brew influenced one. I think I mentioned that, and
they do the forager one, or foraged, which is if you actually go all the way back to episode 1, you can kind of listen back to this. But this is where they literally just have a day where they just go out and just kind of pick berries and whatever they can find, like fruit and stuff like that. They literally go out foraging. And whatever they get, and it might be cherry based, it might be kind of fruit based, whatever it is.
Things, I think,
and they just make a sour out of it, which I think is a brilliant concept. Yep. And often I've had a couple of them that I've been like, I'm not too bothered about that, and then a couple that have just been brilliant. Yeah. But I love the fact that you never quite know what you're going to get. It's different. It's trying something.
They do it by the seasons, don't they? So they'll do like a spring, and then autumn, winter, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do a summer one? I don't think I've ever seen a summer one. Maybe they do.
I can't remember. I think they do. I think they do. I mean, daft as it sounds, a strawberry daiquiri sour is probably one of the more kind of normal mainstream things that they've done, because it's just taking really that strawberry taste, giving it a real thickness. But it works well. What have we got to talk about today?
Well, we've got a few events coming up, and then probably by the time our next Topcast is, so I thought I'd give them a plug.
Okay.
First one that we're coming up is at St Mars of the Desert. So if hopefully you've all listened to that and you know everything about St Mars of the Desert.
If you haven't, then go back and listen to
really
it.
Good episode.
That is superb.
So on the Friday 29th of March, they're launching their second beer in the Attercliff Industrial Hop Series range, which is their introduction into the sort of hazy, beautiful New England style. So there's a guy, local artist, who's been doing the photography for that series. So there's a bit of an art exhibition / launch going off on there on the 29th. So they're welcoming people up to the brewery. So if you've not been up there, cracking little place. I know Sean's recently been, and he was raving about it as well. And Laura loves it as well. Not had a bad word about it really. I know you've not had it, but the first beer in this series is their New England one. Because in the interview we did with them, they were saying that we'll leave that till the summer because they're from that side of they're from that kind of part of America. And all of a sudden I walked in and they're like, "Whoa, hang on, you've dropped one already," sort of thing. And I came back to it, and honestly, not being biased, it's absolutely beautiful beer. So that's available in cans, but you can only get it from the brewery, so if that's a extra...
No, I need to get there. I've not been yet. Yes, if anyone is going and would like to buy an extra can and drop it off for me at Sheffield Technology Parks, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you all. Do we know anything about what the second one's going to be then?
No, there's no kind of... It does basically say it's a hop series. I think there's going to be kind of doing this similar type beers, these hazy kind of beers, but... probably just moving the hop variety around. Again, it's like kind of just trying to showcase where they are really, because it's in the deepest, darkest Attercliff. So the photography on the cans is quite dark. It's very, very dark artwork on a dark can. Looking forward to seeing what they're going to put on that can for next time.
Sounds good. Enjoying the strawberry daiquiri?
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. Shame there's not a bit more left actually.
It is one of those that. We're in a studio in the middle of the city centre on a day that's actually been quite sunny. This is something that I do feel a little bit bad that I'm not sat outside drinking it. And actually I kind of feel like I should be abroad. Strawberry daiquiri is not a massive cocktail drinker, but I do quite enjoy one when I'm abroad. And I remember a holiday to, I think it was Tenerife, going back about 6-7 years. For whatever reason, the holiday just became, it centred around drinking strawberry daiquiris. I think it was before I really got into beer. And it was actually ridiculously enjoyable to just drink the same drink for an entire week. Probably spent the most of my budget just on strawberry daiquiris.
Yeah, you can get
It
into
reminds
those
me
things, can't you?
Yeah.
Once you've had one or two, you get a taste for those things.
Absolutely.
You know, like the frozen ones, like kind of some of the more trendy bars and stuff.
Yeah.
But if someone wants to, there's a time and a place for these things. But if you're going to make it a beer
enjoy them.
format,
I like a frozen daiquiri. I think they're good.
Should we go on to the next event?
Should we crack beer first?
Okay. So third beer, but second beer from me tonight is a beer by Salopian Brewery in collaboration with something called Team Toxic, which is quite new. I had to look it up, but then I realised that I did actually know the people who were involved in that. So this is the second Sheffield link. So have you drank any beers by Wain Brewery?
Wain?
Waen in Wales.
No.
You ever seen it? I bet you'll see it if you were. Or Hopcraft?
No.
Oh. Well, Gazza Prescott, who did Hopcraft, he used to brew at Steel City with Dave. So
this is ringing a bell now, actually.
Yeah.
I think I probably have.
So he was in Hopcraft, and so Sue, who does the Wain Brewery, they've teamed up together. I think, they're friends anyway. So they've teamed up together to create this Team Toxic, which is kind of them brewing together, essentially. So they've done a collaboration called Danger Moose.
Danger Moose?
Well, I think they've got a beer called Pamplemousse. One of their bigger beers.
Okay.
So it's
I've seen that.
Yeah, it's like a black kind of brandy with a big W on it. So this is a New England IPA, 6%. So I just thought, give it a try, because it's something we've not tried before. Obviously, they're new.
Okay.
And I've not done any Salopian beers.
No, I've not had Salopians before either.
Go.
I'm looking forward to trying this one. Should be good. Yeah, nice.
It's going to have a hint of Strawberry Daiquiri, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah, this is one of those where we probably do need you. Yeah. Oh well.
Find out.
What's the aroma like?
It's got a good aroma, actually. I got it from cracking the can. It's a little bit darker, and it's got the same kind of. It's really, really murky.
Probably the Strawberry Daiquiri remnants
could be,
don't
yeah.
help on that. Oh yeah, that is. Oh fuck, that's very dark.
So let's see what that's. Is any kind of tasting notes on it?
Smells good.
Vegan friendly.
It's got a weird sort of almost banana-esque smell coming through there.
Oh, here we go. So it's brewed with Cascade Citra, Brewers Gold, and Nelson Sauvin. I never know how to say that with it.
Let me look at it. Nelson Sauvin. Sauvin.
Yeah, I kind of think it's more French. That's nice, that.
Yeah, that's really, really
It's got
good.
really like a sweet, not overly sweet, but it's got a nice rounded sweet flavour.
I don't know if my senses are just not working properly. Do you get banana from it? Is that
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah, it's not Belgian-y though, like because sometimes you get that bubblegummy banana thing. From
Yeah.
A Belgian
No.
beer,
It's
but
not got that. Yeah, I know what you mean. That's a very kind of specific style, isn't it? That? Like a verse beer that you get a bit of banana and bubble.
Hefeweizen, something like that.
Hefeweizen.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this. Strangely,
really nice,
right? It is really nice. I don't know whether or not the kind of the flavour profile is as noticeable as the Neon Raptor at 4%.
Yeah.
Which I thought the flavour for that just really jumped out. Maybe it's I feel it's a little unfair saying this because we've just had a Strawberry Daiquiri beer, which is going to affect the taste of anything for the first few mouthfuls. But the taste actually feels a little bit more subtle for that.
Yeah, I think that's double dry hop though, so maybe, I don't know if that kind of gives it a bit more bite to it.
A difference, but it's not like New England beers are not particularly aggressively hopped.
I would definitely go and get another can of that though. Like, it was on the cheaper end of the spectrum for its kind of strength and style.
Yeah, they have generally become quite expensive.
I think it was under £4. I think
that's very good. Yeah, that's very good.
Just under £4, but
right. Okay, that'd be $3.95 by
something
chance,
like that. Yeah.
No, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Again, some nice kind of white branding. If you're on the video again, I'll just hold it up here.
Looks good. Real simple branding actually. Quite the opposite of the other two that we've had.
I did find out today that Nick Law, who does the Hop Forward podcast, he actually did their branding for this Team Toxic.
There we go.
I just stumbled on just by accident because I was actually Googling them to try to find a bit more information about it. So
it is a small world, isn't it?
It's a small world. So there's another Sheffield link there. You go.
You've got a few more things on your on your list.
So event number 2. So if you did go to Smod and you want another thing to go to, the week after that, so that's the 6th and the 7th of April, is Piss Up in a Brewery number 2 at
Abbeydale.
Abbeydale, yeah. So they've done one of these before, and obviously they did the Funk Dungeon, the Funk Fest in the summer. They have actually expanded their space a bit. I think they wanted to kind of let people come and see it and show it off a little bit better. So they'll be doing beer, like cask, keg, and tank beers. And they'll be able to do some brewery tours as well.
That sounds pretty good. I like the fact that it's kind of the first opportunity to go and see what they've done there with the extra space that they've got, because we're quite fortunate that we hear quite a bit because of the fact that obviously we know Laura, we know Jim, so we kind of hear about what they've got going on there. But I've not seen it yet. In fact, I've never been there. I've not been to either of the other two events.
I found it a really good use of space before. I think they've got. I don't know if they've got the space before and weren't using it, or I can't really remember at the time. But do you know what a stroopwafel is?
What a
stroopwafel?
Stroopwafel.
Yeah.
No. It sounds like stroopwafel. No, I'm gonna get. It's gonna be some sort of combination of different styles. There's gonna be a German influence there.
It's something you might make a. Well, basically, what I was going to say is there's a festival exclusive, which is going to be a Stroopwafel Imperial Stout. So it's a type of biscuit. I've seen the really flat ones that are like, they kind of like, they're super good. They're really good. So it's going to.
It looks like a rice cake.
Yeah, but it's not. It's kind of. Yeah, they're really flat. Yeah, they look like a rice cake, but it's got loads of caramel in it.
If you're watching the video, if you can just show that up to the camera, because that is really odd looking, and they're just going to put that into a beer.
Well, not just. There's going to be. Oh, there is 1 Stroopwafel per litre of beer. So that's,
wow.
So that's
did you get a free
half
Stroopwafel with every third? That would be a good deal.
You can get them in Tesco and stuff.
Right, okay.
They're in a bit of an odd area.
I feel like I should go.
You should go.
Are they in the specialist?
They sit very
section?
nicely on a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and they kind of warm through, and they kind of get a bit more.
Do you know, now you've said that, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. That's it. It's on the edge of your. It's on the edge of the saucer.
Yeah,
got it. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
So if that's anything to go, I don't know if that's going to be part of their range that they do with the stout range, but that's an imperial one, and it's a festival exclusive at the minute. So if you love your Stroopwafels, you like your beer,
sounds good.
It's the only one place to go to get it.
Should be a good event, actually. I'm looking forward to that one. As I say, for me, it's kind of my first kind of snooping around of Abbeydale. So looking forward to it. Final thoughts then on hang on, let me get the name. Salopian Brewery Team Toxic collaboration.
I really like it. Yeah,
Danger Moose. I'd love the name. It definitely wins best name for this episode.
Yeah, because what's this one called? Strawberry Daiquiri Sour Ale. That's not massively.
Which is actually, to be fair, quite boring for Lost Industry. They're normally quite good with their names. They come up with stuff that's a bit edgy. And Starplay from Neon Raptor looks, it's the branding's great. The name,
I don't know what it's referring to.
No, I'm not sure. It's definitely the winner for best beer title. But what do you think is the winner for best beer?
I'm going to go for this one. I'm going to go for the Salopian one. Yeah. Only just though.
We normally agree on this, don't we?
I think I like them all for different reasons. To be honest, I think.
All right, I'll let you think about that.
All right, come back to me.
Mine is going to be. I do know what you mean, because they are all good in their own way. And the Strawberry Daiquiri Sour is fantastic for what it is. But the Starplay for me is brilliant for 4% beer. It had so much flavour. It was just everything that you would look for in that style of beer at that percentage. There isn't going to be anything better, and you could go around all the hype breweries. You're not going to find anything that's better than that at 4%. So that's my pick.
I think you can't really argue with that. I think I'm going to stick with this one. I'm going to stick with the Salopian and the Team Toxic one.
It's a draw. We just had Lost Industry. We still love you.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. I just I can't really fault that either, to be fair. But I'd give them a third of a point each. But that would mean the Neon Raptor would win with 1 1/3 votes out of.
Well, unless I also said, I'll give them all the third of it. If we're going to start doing that, then I'd probably distribute points more or less equally as well.
Well, go get all three. You can probably get them for about 10 or something.
Yeah, you probably can. They're good beers. None of them
Is always very
expensive.
good value for money as well.
Good stuff. So we'll be back in a couple of weeks with the next Hopcast.
We might have something a little bit like that Strawberry Daiquiri.
Well, we talked about it at length at the end of the last episode, despite my best attempts to get people to shut their fuck up. If you've not listened to the back end of the last episode, don't bother, because it's really boring, because it's just people repeating the same stuff over and over again. But yeah, we're going to Laura's house and she's making beer cocktails. That's what we're doing. It's a bit different. It might be great, it might be terrible, but we'll have a go and we'll see what happens. We'll be back with beer cocktails in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah.
We'll see you then.
See you later.